Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Altcoin Daily with Bitcoin Gorilla. Today, altcoin we're going to be breaking down is called Spell Token, currently trading at 0.01489 cents. Now, it has seen a rise to the upside of about 1.21%. Now, by the end of this video, you're going to understand what is abracadabra and also what is called magic internet money, how it is used, and if spell could be a good token to invest in 2022, because we will also be breaking down spell price, and I'll be explaining it using simple price action strategy that was developed by me from scratch. Now, if you've been following my analysis, you know I do not use indicators. I do not like them. They are like luxury. If you ever see me implement them, then they are luxury to confirm my statistics that has been proven by the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy. So if at the end of this video you like my style, do subscribe and give me a thumbs up. So spell token. What is spell token? Before we dive into breaking down what spell token is, I think it's best we first understand the statistics to enable us have a little overview of what the supply and the current circulatory supply is all about. So currently the total supply of spell token is around 103.214 billion approximately. Now the currently circulatory supply is around 79.99 billion. Now when we talk about market cap, how much money has entered this market, the market cap currently is around 1.19 billion dollars, of which it has seen a rise about 1.21% to the upside. Now, when we look at what about the all-time high, what is the highest this price has ever gone? Now, this is good for us to take note of this because it will help us find our most supply area and our most demand area when we dive into the technical analysis aspect. So, the all-time high, according to CoinMarketCap, was about 2 months ago, November 2021, when the price was able to rise to a range of 0.07515. But it's unfortunate that Spell has lost over 79% of that move to the upside, and that is why it's currently trading at 0.01489 range. So what about the lowest price? What is the lowest price this coin has ever seen? I think the lowest price according to CoinMarketCap is around 5 months ago, August 2021, when it dropped as low as 0.0005916 range. So now that we know the basic statistics of this coin, I will tell you. Now let's define what is spell. Now, spell token on its own is a reward token associated with the abracadabra money. Now you might ask me, what is abracadabra? Well, abracadabra is a lending platform that uses interest bearing token IBTKNs as collateral to borrow a USD pegged stablecoin called Magic Internet Money. So they will borrow you Magic Internet Money in abracadabra. Now, what can you do with that magic internet money? Hang in, we're going to find out. Now, abracadabra uses the catchy lending technology pioneered by Sushi Swap, Sushi, to provide isolated lending market that allows users to adjust their risk tolerance according to the collateral they decided to use. Users can deposit collateral and borrow the magic internet money against it. So Abracadabra also offers yield farming opportunities where users can stake their liquidity provider LP tokens to farm spell. Now, what is the most advantage of this spell? Now, thanks to catchy lending technology introduced by Sushi Swap, Abracadabra isolated lending market has sparked a wave of innovation in decentralized finance lending. In an isolated lending market, the risk is not shared collectively. Users can provide liquidity for any token, and if the currency pair loses its liquidity or something happens to the smart contract, only that pair is affected and not the entire platform. This allows Abracadabra to offer various peers that are not supported by other decentralized exchange. One of the features of using this technology is that users can leverage their internet bearing token positions. Users borrow against those their positions and then again borrow against the borrowed stable coin, creating several loops and thereby increasing their leverage. All this is done in one transaction with just one transaction fee. So you're only paying once. Let me try to break this down. It's like you use your collateral to borrow the stable MIM, magic internet money. Now, you can use the magic internet money to borrow another stable coin. So it's like you are increasing your leverage, you are increasing your borrowing, giving you access to more capital. But at the end of the day, you are only paying one gas fee. And is a good advantage to you. So let's look at what this website looks like. This is what the abracadabra website looks like, and you can see this is just the spell, and you can borrow and borrow, giving you lots of loop in terms of borrowing. So you have $20 worth of token, you deposit it, you change it to you deposit it and borrow the MIM. You use the MIM to borrow another stable coin. You use the another stable coin to borrow another stable coin. The only thing is each stable coin you borrow is likely going to increase your leverage, right? You, the spellcaster, can provide collateral in the form of various interest-bearing token assets such as YVFI, YVUSDT, YVUSDC, Xsuchi, and more. With this, you can borrow magic internet money, which is a stable coin that can swap for any other traditional stable coin. So you can use this stable coin MIM to swap for any other coin. Now, the website looks like a gaming website, but it's not. The formula is straightforward. Collateral proof stable coin out. Now, to reverse the spell, it's like casting a spell. So when you cast a spell, it goes loop by loop by loop and gives you access to these unlimited loops of borrowing. But the thing is this, if you want to reverse it, then you, the caster, will have to simply return the conjured MIMs to the spell book. Then the magically locked interest bearing tokens are released. So why you are borrowing? So let me explain this. Let me try to break it down to my understanding of what spell are trying to say. What they're trying to say is that while you are staking your coin, you can still borrow with that staked coin. And then not just that, you use the borrow state coin to borrow other stable coin. So with the MIM, you can borrow YVUSDC, you can borrow YVUSDT. So you can keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, and the loops is non-stop. But when you want to actually exit it, you have to find a way to go back to MIM, right? And with the MIM, you can now release your stake coin. That's the initial coin that you stake and receive reward, because the reward will come from the token. So currently, if you look at this is just the statistics of what has been going on in their Bracketabra money. Total locked coin currently is around 5.89 billion, and total fee generated is around 48.4 million. Now, the thing is, the loan they have given out so far, the total open loan, currently active loan, is about 23.4K, right? Average loan size is about $123,000, right? So with this at the back of our mind, you know that they say their average return on LT ratio, the average LTV ratio is about 50%, and the average interest rate is about 1.77%. Now that we have a little data about this, I am going to go ahead and look at the price, because the price is very interesting here. We have a very less data to work with. So when there's no much data, support and resistance are really um very easily broken. So have that at the back of your mind, that we are dealing with a new coin without no previous data, which means most of our work is going to be, I will be honest with you. I like being honest. It's going to be a guesswork. So, as much as I'm going to work with the chart is leaving me with little or no data to actually make something out of it, to pin something out of it. But I am still going to analyze the chart and tell you what I'm seeing. Using the Bitcoin Gorilla strategy, I will be able to get some good decent analysis. So this chart will be on daily chart, and I'll be alternating between daily chart and 4 hours chart. So the first thing I did was to get my all-time high and my all-time low. Now, the thing about this is these are my major support and resistance. So I want to contain everything that happened by bringing in the Bitcoin Gorilla box strategy. So this is the Bitcoin Gorilla box strategy, and I'm going to go ahead and get the support and resistance. And obviously, I cannot get much from this chart, so I'm going to try to go to 4 hours to see if I can make do of 4 hours, because the chart is very young. So I can see right here, if I'm to work with what data so far we have on 4 hours, I can see that right here. I can see that right here. Um, Let me not confuse you. So let me check, state that clearly. 4 hours. So I can see that right here, there is a sort of support that price is struggling to hold on to. But the point is, are they likely going to get enough demand to reverse the trend at this trend? Well, that we're going to find out. So the next thing I want to get is also the resistance area, and I see a clear resistance area right here. So now that I've gotten the support and resistance, can I actually get another box, in-house box? um I think I should be able to get another box in the middle, so I can be able to witness what happened at this point. And obviously, so I'm going to extend the box to give us a better view of what is happening, and I'm going to try to zoom in. So I've gotten the box, so I'm going to try to get the support and resistance of this box, which right now seems like I need to adjust my previous voice if I'm going to get this right. I think this was a very obvious resistance area, and I can say that this point is another support area. So obviously we have a support and this one. So now that I take note of that, I'm going to try and get support and resistance of this inner new box that I just drew. So now that I've gotten that, I'm also going to try to get the support and resistance of this range. So I have gotten the support and resistance area, but there are other points in my chart that I can actually make note of. These are not in your face kind of support and resistance, but they are hidden in between the charts. So that is why I am trying to take the time to map them out. So now that I've gotten these areas, I'm going to go ahead and bring my trend lines and see what I can actually get. Now from this chart, I see that the cause of this entire dump is just a pattern called the double bottom. And this double bottom has caused a serious rejection that price has even broken below the last low that it held before a reversal, which tells me with this, I can actually get a seller's line that has been quite functioning. And it's this range. So that's a seller's line. And if I am going to go further, I can tell you that there's been a downtrend. So price is obviously stuck in a downtrend. So for each line we draw, we need a minimum of two touches: one, two, and three. We have one, two, and three. So obviously we see that price has been on the down move, but the point where it is now, is it likely going to get a bounce? Is it likely going to get a move to the upside? Are we going to get any recovery on spell? Well, let's go further in and zoom in and see what price is saying. So let me explain this chart according to what I am saying here. So first is, this is my demand area, support. This is also a demand area. This is my supply area. This is my supply area of the box. Now, one thing about this supply and demand area in this box is, when price is within this range, chances of a reaction is high, or chances of a a pause or change in direction is also high. Remember, my support is my demand area, which means a bounce is possible. But in terms of this, we don't have really previous support to really support our current support, would give us more guarantee that is going to move. But instead, here's what I see happening. Now, price is likely going to, now remember, previous support when broken becomes a resistance, and that is what is happening to us right here. This is a previous support, and once it's broken, find it price is now finding it difficult to cross above 0.1622 or 167. Price is struggling to cross that range, right? And you can see once they fall in, this also becomes a resistance, right? But now remember, this entire range is a demand area, but this coin has no previous data, so it's in a demand area, but it has to struggle to overcome this range because it has to go back above the previous broken support, which is around 0.116 0.016 range, all the way to 0.018. This is going to be a tough ride, so they are likely going to try to move up and get here, but chances are high they could get rejected here. That is if they don't get rejected first around 0.016 to retest the bottom. So this is what I see playing out in nutshell. I see them doing this. It could go like this, and they will now come back, and they go like this, and they go like this, because the major target is they want to get above this point. But I really do see them, if they end up here and they get a double bottom, it could still push them all the way down to come and retest this area of 0.014. But depending on the demand lying in this area where we are currently, spell could see a move to this 0.018. But first they must conquer 0.016. So once they get to it, it will be an attack on our sellers line. Now with this sellers line attack, they could further their move to 0.02. That's if they really succeed, because I really see this range being a very, very important range that could get them rejected. If they don't get rejected at 0.02, they could likely make their way all the way to 0.022 range, right? No, let's say 0.22 range. Yeah, at that point they could get rejected, and this rejected will cause a force pullback. Now I'm giving you a brief overview of what 2022 will be like for this coin. Patience is going to be needed. Patience is going to be needed because this coin, if it's not um careful enough, because of the supply, it could still go down. Now I do see a really good struggle going on here. This is only going to happen if the current support hold. Now, there's no guarantee, because anything that breaks below this current support, we have to seek for another support, of which I cannot tell you because there's no previous data for me to work with. And my analysis, we need data for it to give you, because they say history repeats itself. It is this data that I will use to tell you what I am saying. But guess what? I will always come to update you on spell and tell you what I'm saying. I do see spell in 2022 sha making its way to 0.02. Now this could happen depending on the demand here. Like I said, we could see a sideways that move on here, go on happening here, and this will need a lot of patience if you are on spell. So you're going to have patience with spell for spell to recover. But for me, I believe that using a stop loss is very important. If you're on spell, this is a new coin, and a new coin can dump as far as you don't understand. Because why? A lot of people bought it at the time it was still selling before the listing, right? Initial before the listing on the exchange, they will sell it. A lot of people have already bought, earlier buyers, so those people are the ones taking profit once a coin is listed. So you must know how to take advantage of that early sales, so that you know when to exit and enter a coin. That's if you are in the coin. If you are not in the coin, I think the current range, if you are actually going to trade this current range, it's a bit very risky, but make sure you use stop loss. Anything that goes below 0.012 is really a threat and could go lower. So I think being on the caution side is good for you to use stop loss. So if you end up liking my strategy and analysis, just make sure that you subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And if you want to learn how to trade this Bitcoin Gorilla strategy, come to Makaveli Traders. I will train you. I will give you 3 months intensive training. My name Bitcoin Gorilla comes from my high leverage trading style. I trade 125x, and when you come into the family, you are also going to be trained to trade with this style, my strategy. It comes with laws, it comes with rules and things that will help you avoid liquidation. When you start using Bitcoin Gorilla strategy, when you learn it, you will no longer experience liquidation. I have 3 types of membership: spot, futures, and staking. Access is limited, and access will be closing by 27 January. I'll be waiting. If you're interested, join me.